So happy to sit down with you. That's cool. So you are not a Pennsylvania native? I actually am. I was born in Lancaster County, but all of my family and both of my siblings were born in Texas. So Texas, Pennsylvania native, Texas by heart. Gotcha. Yeah, I was introduced to graffiti in Lancaster City. There was a little mini mall, like a little shop at down the street from where I lived, and at the very end there was an arcade, and the arcade was full graffiti. Like I'm talking like old school b-boys, right? What has this? This is probably like late '80s, early '90s. Were those local writers? I don't know. I don't know. I think they were. I think they were guys that were like either from New York or back and forth from New York. Because at that time there was like a big influx of people that would come from New York City to Lancaster City. Because at one point in time, I don't know if you know this, but Lancaster City was actually dubbed Little New York. So I don't know anything about the connection with Lancaster. Yeah. So because a lot of people would get in trouble, they come. You know what I mean? It was like you were giving up the big city, but you were still in the city. So everything comes Lancaster. So I think it was dudes that were like either back and forth or from New York or had family in New York. But they had like, like just cube letters with the bubbles, and they had b-boys with the big glasses and the fat Adidas. And I would just go in there and just stare at the walls, bro. Stare, because I didn't even have money to play video games, so I would just stare at the walls. And one day, there was a wall on the outside at the very end where the arcade was, and it was one of those walls that like kind of went like tall and then it went kind of small. And we just happened to go down to the arcade, and this dude was painting. He was painting this piece with a b-boy and everything, and he was drinking a 40 with a brown bag while he was painting, and I was just like done, bro. I was in love and watching this dude paint. I think I rode my bike back to the house, told my brother, yo, he's painting, you gotta come check it out. And so then every time I drive by or walk by that wall, I would just stare at the graffiti, and like I still wasn't doing it or drawing, but it was in me. Like, it was already planted, from that arcade. That's really where it started. And you don't remember any of those guys, any of the names that you saw? No, I didn't even know enough to. It'd be interesting to know more about those guys. Like guys who were getting up. Yeah, and I was young too, so I was really young, so I didn't even know enough to even know what did the word tag or bubble letters or anything. I just know that it looked cool. I don't even know if like until I saw that dude painting, if I even knew it was done with spray paint. You know what I mean? Like I was that young. So, and that was so like late '80s. So it was like Star Wars, or that'd be a little bit after that. Yeah, like Star Wars, but like a little bit progressed after Star Wars. So the what I mean, letters like advancing a little bit crispier. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so and you're probably like 12, 13, something like that. Yeah, like 10, between 10 and 12. And you're like, do you start drawing it instantly, or I think I did start sketching around. My brother was, or he's 2 years older than me. He was a good artist, and we would do like cartoons, right? So we do like Garfield and draw cartoons and stuff. And you know how I don't know if you remember the Snorks. Yeah. So like Snorks were real big back then. So we would do B-boy Snorks, and B-boy Garfield. So any cartoon we would draw, we told like, oh yeah, we're right into a b-boy, with the big glasses and the Adidas and stuff. But we were big. He was big into drawing like the logos of the NFL football helmets, and that was a big thing too. So we would sketch those. But I started to sketch around a little bit and draw a little bit. At that time too, mini trucks were really big. I was just gonna say, so like we get mini trucking magazine that we cut the pictures out, but there's a little bit of art associated with the mini trucks. I was gonna say, like before, like when I was a kid, it was dinosaurs, and then the next thing was like lowriders. Yeah. I remember drawing lowriders, with the meltdown paint jobs and stuff like that. Yeah. And you know what the cool thing is? My dad, living in Texas, I would tell him about lowriders and mini trucks. So before Lowrider magazine came to the East Coast, he would mail them to me. Oh, well, like every month he mailed me an issue, and all my friends would be like, "Yo, where'd you get that magazine?" I'm like, "Oh, it's from Texas, bro." So then you had like the in the back of the magazine, you always have the drawings,
Right.
the drawings of the month, and there'd be a couple of graffiti pieces right in there too, with the cholo, yeah, the Jacobo drawings and stuff too. So that was another hit right there, from the West. But here you go. And like, is this something that like you're into on your own? I know you said your brother was, but like, do you have friends who are also like drawing this kind of stuff too, or you're just like, yeah, I did. Like growing up in Lancaster City, like being from Texas, being Mexican American, bro, all surrounded by little Puerto Rico. So I had some Puerto Rican friends they were in hip hop. I mean, we were listening to Eric B. and Rakim and LL Cool J, and we were listening to rap, Public Enemy, and everything. And I had a buddy, a Puerto Rican buddy, Lewis. He would draw graffiti too, and yeah, it was cool to like sketch around. But I mean, you knew who was really good and who wasn't, but everybody tried to sketch. Yeah. Did you have a name then? Like, I think my first name. So to give you like we'll go in order. So that's why it started, and then fast forward a few years, my mom met my stepdad, and he had property in Florida, in Boca Raton, Florida. So I lived in Florida for like a year, and bro, that's when it started. He would take us to Miami, and we would drive down to Miami. On the way to Miami on the highways, bro, like colors I'd never seen before. You know, characters. Now we're not even talking b-boys, we're talking characters. And I would just like beg to go on the weekend to Miami just so we could drive in. I had the like warehouses and the highway spots memorized when we would come up on them to be able to look and just drift handle it. Yeah. And it was a lot of like bright pinks, turquoises, stuff I never really seen for, drawing and looking at the other New York stuff. It was just like reds, blues, yellows, but that I really got turned on to those colors. And that's where it really hit me. Like, okay, I want to do graffiti. Like I want to draw, and I would draw. I had my sketchbook, and that's where it really started. Like, and I was a little bit older now too. And you picked a name then? Yes, that's where I was going with that. So I'm like looking at the letters and I'm looking at the names, in the magazines and stuff like that. And so I'm like, my right brain's moving. So I came up with KCA, and it stood for Cool Creator of Art with the K. Okay. Which I think was pretty, for back then. Yeah, that's pretty, cool with the K. So went from KCA to Cool Creator of Art to Shot One. It was Shot One for a long time. And then as I progressed and I grew up and started like doing drugs and drinking and stuff, I landed on, for the longest time, I landed on Wasted One. Wow. Yeah, Wasted One. There's a lot of people now who know you now who probably would have a hard time. Well, yeah, exactly. Also, so I'll give you the progression of that as we go along, and how I landed on Red One, because that was the last name I had, Wasted One, until I picked up Red One. So that was in Florida, where all that. So then I came back to Pennsylvania, and I'm like, yo, Shot One, bro. I mean, I had my W down and everything, and kind of then I'm like, y'all from Florida. I lived there for like 1 year. Like, I'm a writer from Florida. I'm like, oh, you ain't.
Yeah. And so, were you doing illegal?
I did. All my illegals really were in Florida, bro. Like, so back then, you didn't have to be 18 to buy spray paint. So we go to I think it was called Publix. It was like, oh yeah, like the grocery store, and I take my little bit of money that my mom or stepdad would give me, like a little allowance, and I go there and I ride my bike to the Publix and I buy all this spray paint. And it was like, right, black, white, blue, red, like they didn't have primary and stuff, yeah. And I go up there, I find all like, bro, like 9, 10 cans, and the lady's like, what are you doing with all this paint? I'm painting my bike. That's what I heard her say. I'm painting my bike, because I ride my bike there, and I had these plastic bags. And then like the next day, the same Publix, like little mini mall around back, just freaking blasted, same colors, like as soon as the same colors I bought, it was like probably pre-cameras, or maybe there was cameras, but they weren't like a thing.
So I did like tags. I did like bubble letters. I really wanted to do
Like full burner pieces, but I was too paranoid. I never stayed long enough to fill everything. So I really did like dope outline letters and then tried to fill in. So I would never get all the way there. I do tags, and then there was one I was really proud of. Like across the street, there was another mini mall, it was a little bit bigger, and it had like a second floor. So I scoped it out really good. Like went up there, went on the second floor, and I could see the wall from the road. Right, this piece of wall that was on the second floor, and I'm like, I got to get to that. So I went up there and kind of searched around, whatever, found the spot, and then I saw where I could jump over, and then be on that spot. Scouted it out for like days. And then finally, I was like, I'm gonna pull the trigger. Grabbed all my paint, had a backpack or a bag or something. Jumped the wall. I freaking did I do KCA? I can't remember. Big old piece, bro. Like full color outline, everything. And I was so proud of it. And now I remember I was so proud and stupid at the same time. We were driving by, and I said, "Mom, see that right there?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "I did that." But I got in so much trouble, bro. Yeah, but I was so proud. I was like, I did that, and that was it, dude. Like, couple of those, not too many, and that was it. Like,
and you went out by yourself.
yeah, yeah. There was a kid that he was from. I met him at school, and he was a little black kid. I forget. He was from Chicago or something. He was not from Florida. He was from somewhere else, and he understood graffiti, and we would sketch around together. But he never went out tagging with me and stuff, and did a couple there. Then that year was over. We moved back, and that was pretty much it. Like at that point, then I got into girls, smoking cigarettes, trying to cop weed. You know what I mean? So tagging wasn't like not a big thing for me then. Every now and then I go out with my buddies and I oh, Ray's doing a tag. Okay, yeah, big deal. But it wasn't like a huge priority back then. So, and yeah, that was it. Then it just went to drawing, like just drawing pictures for girls, because I was into girls, and then just drawing for friends and stuff. When I get bored, I would draw and stuff. So then just went from there to sketchbooks.
Okay, yeah. So let's talk about how you landed on Redeemed One.
Yeah. So wasted one, right? So that went to like probably like junior high, a little bit of high school, and
You never got in any trouble writing? I mean, other than you said, you know what?
no, I didn't. No, I never did. I never got busted. As dumb as I was, or chased or I didn't know. No, no, never did. No, not for graffiti. No. We did. There was a little time, summertime. We spent some time with my dad in Texas, and he lived in an apartment complex, and I did some tags, and like it was such a small little town where everybody knew everybody, and everybody knew that Julian's two sons were visiting from Pennsylvania, and so the word got out, and my dad had to pay a fine to get it cleaned off, like that. But I didn't get
That's just around that car.
but no, I never did. So wasted one, went to, through high school, and then like it slowly started to drop off, just even drawing and everything, because I was so distracted by partying and everything.
Sure.
And then graduated high school, came to York to go to art school in Bradley Academy for the visual arts, and 2-year college, dropped out a year and 9 months, and then I ended up joining the Marine Corps. Was in the Marine Corps for 4 years. That takes us to I got out in 2001. So probably around 99, I'm walking downtown with my wife in Honolulu. This is before my daughter was even born, and we're newly married. And I'm telling her, I'm like, and by this time, like I had kind of left the party scene. I had become a Christian when I was in college, and I walking downtown Honolulu with my wife, and I'm like, you know what? I want to do graffiti again. Like it's in me. Like I'm itching. Like I think I want to start painting again, but I should probably get a new name. You know what I mean? We're just kind of laughing or whatever. And I was such a new Christian that I didn't even know Christian words, right? So I'm like telling her, I'm like, what can I what are some cool Christian words that I could call myself right now? And so we're just tossing funny, and she doesn't know jack squat about graffiti, right? So she's just like, I don't know, we're just tossing words around, and then we're just walking, and all of a sudden I'm like, what about redeemed? Isn't that a Christian word? She's like, yeah, it is. Actually, it means blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, redeemed. Redeemed one. Yeah, it could be like red one for short. And then boom, that was it. I'm like, yeah. So I started off with the logo with the R and everything. And it was really redeemed one for a long time before I shortened it because I'm like, damn, I had to pick the longest freaking word, right? To do like pieces, tags and stuff. So then I shortened it to red one. And at that time, for a long time, I never knew anybody that had red one. Um, but that's where I got that name, and it just stuck, bro. It just was like me, you know. Because then it was like redeemed one, or it was if you spelled out red one, it said redone, you know. And it was kind of like my life story, you know. It was like redone. It was done over. Um, so it just stuck, and it was cool, and it was never about the color, like right, never. Like I think maybe some people might think that, hey, what with it when they first meet you or whatever. I mean, yeah, I knew it was redeemed one, but yeah. No, it's not like I rarely even used back then. Or used the color red. Yeah. So yeah. Um, so how do you transition into writer's block, and how does writer's block start? Oh, writer's block was dope, bro. That was a cool season of life. I had at that time I was working as a youth director at a local church, and I just had growing up in the city, growing up in Lancaster City with a single mom is rough. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you're eating spam and you know, there's no money. You're trying to take care of your sneakers because you know you don't know when you're gonna get another pair. And then as I grew up, man, my heart was just like, man, I love kids, and you know, I know what it's like to grow up tough and all that stuff. I want to go back into the city and help kids, encourage them. You know what I mean? Like, give them something that they're not like getting in trouble, right? So, and not that writer's block kids were trouble kids. It's just like that was my heartbeat behind it. And I loved graffiti, but I didn't want to do illegals anymore, obviously, and I didn't want kids to feel like they had to get in trouble. You know, they could still do art. So I forget how I met Jean Sowers, but I met her. She had that youth center downtown, and I just had this idea. You know what? I'm gonna do like a after school thing, and whoever wants to come can come. And I'm just gonna teach them how to paint, and we'll just get boards and we'll paint, and you know, and I don't even remember how word got out. But we started meeting there, and I had paint, and the kids had paint, and we would just paint and draw, and I would teach them, you know, caps. You know, I was getting stuff from bombing science at that time, and then it was cool. It was relational, bro. It was like we all had the same thing in common, and then we did like a art show, like a gallery showing, and they did canvases, and we crushed it. Dude, those kids made money, and it was awesome to watch their faces light up as they made money off these canvases, and it was all legal. You know what I mean? And I was like, job done. And that's what I was talking about. I was like, man, well, first of all, I mean, I got to credit you because you are responsible for at least a handful of writers who still are in later graffiti, who still write. Because you know that all started. You know how I'll tell you how it all started. I was so hungry to paint, and I so believed that I could do such a good job, and that all I needed was to prove myself. That I walked into a tattoo shop that had a huge wall on Market Street, and I said, will you let me paint your wall? I'll do it for free. Let me graffiti your wall, I'll do it free. And I might have had a sketch. I don't even know. And the dude was like, man, I don't own the place, but I'll ask the owner. So I went back the next week, and I was like, hey, did you talk? He's like, yeah. He said, yeah, he said it's cool as long as there's no like profanity or anything. I was like,
bet. And it was massive freaking wall. And then somehow in the midst of that, there became this like deal where he would tattoo me for free, and I would do artwork on, like I would do the wall. He would tattoo me for free. So that wasn't even like, not even my motivation at all. I was not interested. But then I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. And I painted that wall, and boom, took off like a rocket, dude. Yo, that wall Market Street, that wall Market Street, writer's block, blah, 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 blah. It became like a landmark. Yeah, it did. Because at one point it was a transformer. People just immediately said the Transformers, and all they knew. Transformer, yeah. Like, if you're going turn left to where the Transformer, yeah, I know where the Transformer is. Then you're like, know the name of the tattoo shop.
That was like my first taste of murals.
Yeah. And that's when the whole idea of using graffiti for beautification in York was birthed right there. Right, that was it. And that opened up a lot of other doors of opportunity, and then it turned into like, oh my God, like I'm making money, a little bit of money, right? I mean, like, but at the end of the day, I just wanted to paint. Like, I just wanted to. I had bought cans, I had bought caps, and I had studied and did all my homework, and I trained in my garage, and I was ready to go out and like show the world what I could do, and I did. That's where it all started. So to go from like I told you before, like, you know, it's 1999. I'm like talking to my wife, yeah, I think I want to do graffiti again, blah, blah, blah. So I started drawing. And then when I got out of the Marine Corps, I got on the internet, and then I found all these graffiti artists. So I was following like Can 2, Saber, and all those guys from the West Coast. I followed probably more German and London writers than anybody else.
The German seems crazy.
Yeah. So I would just study and be like, how in the heck do they get those lines? How are they crispy? How are they, and I would go in my garage and I would paint, and then I paint over it, and then I paint, and then I paint over it, and I paint, and I'd order more caps, and then I bought the wrong caps. Get some other caps. Oh, this is a dope cap, and just get practicing. And that's how I got really good. It was just like, it's like anything else. It's just practice. That's how you get really good.
I know this is me and Twig. We're going back and forth through a text message. Have you painted with him?
Yeah.
You and him. I was telling you, you and him are like the most crispy guys I think that I've seen, man. Like,
yeah, he's good. And I love art, bro. I've always loved art, and I started off drawing cartoons, but that time at that arcade, and that time in Florida, it's like love. I fell in love with spray painting. So I would see other people draw watercolor or oil or acrylic, and I'm like, that's cool. But I'm in love with spray paint.
Yeah.
So I had to be good. I had to become good. Not the best. I just had to become good. I had to be able to do graffiti and walk, stand back and look at it and be like, yeah, boy, yeah. And I did. I got to that point. And then once I got there, then I'm like, all right, now I'm gonna play with acrylics. Now I'm gonna play with some oils. Now I'm gonna play with watercolors. But I had to master the spray paint because that was my love.
And how? Branching off to those other things, how do you feel like those other things have translated back to your graffiti?
I spray paint everything. If I do watercolors, I spray paint.
We still had to buy. If I do acrylic canvas, I spray paint on it, or it's a spray paint background.
I'm still on the journey with oils, but I'm sure spray paint will come up in that too. But in any of my paintings, it's the bold outlines, kind of attributed to the tattoo culture, but not necessarily. Bold outlines, bright colors, soft fades, you know what I mean? Like, I always have no matter what I'm doing, I always have a graffiti-esque side edge to whatever I'm drawing or painting or doing whatever. Because that's just, it'll forever be spray paint, you know what I mean?
Yeah. How do you feel like the graffiti culture in Pennsylvania is different from other places that you've been, like Milwaukee or Texas?
First and foremost, it's the last. So we're on the tail end of everything from the West Coast to here. right? So it starts in the West and it makes its way across and it lands on us. So I feel like we've always been behind. Like things that people are like, oh my gosh, that's so freaking cool. Like 10 years ago was happening in Los Angeles or, well, whatever, wherever, London, right, or Japan or whatever. So, but nonetheless, I still believe with all my heart that people like us that are here will come up with things that one day will get to the West Coast and they'll be like, damn, where did that come from? There's some dude from Pennsylvania. From where? York, Pennsylvania? You know what I mean? But as far as the graffiti culture, like, I think it's, we're at a place now where it's there's two different things now. There's like, what do you want to call it? Vandalism, profanity, or whatever, and then there's graffiti. Because I think people can actually appreciate a good throw up. They really do. If it's done well and if it's done right, I think people appreciate it. You know what I mean? And they can tell when Lil Joey writes "F you," you know what I mean, versus like me and you do just the letter S, and a throw up with some bubbles and a tag. People are like, oh, that's dope. You know what I mean? Like, so I think it's becoming more appreciative. People want it in their homes. They want artwork in their homes. They want businesses. Yeah. Things like that. And I personally done a lot of projects in public schools because they want kids to understand. They love the culture, the history, all that stuff of graffiti. So it's not what it used to be, frowned upon. It's the same thing as the tattoo culture. It's like our grandparents, it was frowned upon because it was like, well, it was you were either in jail or in the army or Vietnam or something, right? And if you hire it or if you had an act, you were a freaking pirate, a biker or something. Now it's like you're weird you're different if you don't have so it's gonna be the same thing. Like I think it's not too much further down the road where you can go anywhere without seeing graffiti. Yeah, I mean, or a spray paint canvas that's not necessarily graffiti, but it's done with Montana canvas or whatever. You know what I mean?
So it's almost kind of a scary thought for me to think about because I have this kind of like aversion to like once things are like so popular, I kind of just like, oh, I kind of want to like
I tend to be the same.
I was a rapper, you know what I mean? For like when it was still kind of like rebellious to be a white rapper in the suburbs, and then like. No, everybody raps and their mom raps, and I'm just like, I don't want to be part of that. Like,
you always wanted to be the one and only, right? Like and I remember that too.
tattooing also.
Like, do you remember when we would get like, I mean, you're still younger than me, so I'm a little bit older than you, but like I remember when it was like you were like the freaking man if you had the British Knights or the Pumas or whatever that weren't even here yet, right? You went down to King of Prussia and got them, or you went to Philly, right? South Street, got them, came back. Oh, where'd you get the Rodney and the Steelers at Park City? No, they got them at Park City, right? So that was like the big thing, and so I've always been like that, and so that creeped into my art, that creeped into everything else, and it's like if everybody's doing it. Everybody's got an Apple Watch. I don't want a freaking Apple Watch. Everybody's got an Apple Watch. You know what I mean? Like, but you know what? Like, I think as we get older and mature, like hindsight, bro, like what I've learned from that is it's pride. You know what I mean? And like, you got to be careful. Pride can be good or it can be bad. Right. And back then it was probably like that was probably not a good route. Right. So I let that creep in and I probably didn't do things or get into things because I didn't want to be like everybody else, which I probably should have just not been prideful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that what you're saying doesn't bother me because no matter what, nobody's gonna ever be able to paint or draw like me. Yeah. And there's always gonna be a red one stamp, right? There could be 10 canvases in this room, but eventually you're gonna get to it. Oh shoot, red one.
Every place that I go through the city.
Yeah.
I just know I painted with you enough.
Yeah.
As soon as I see your letters, I know. Like the one barber shop, I just look over on Ramon. I have the towing place.
Yeah.
I know your work as soon as I see it.
Yeah. So So that used to bother me, but it doesn't bother me anymore. But it took me a long time to realize that that's where the root came from, was from pride, because we were prideful back then. It was like, I got the fattest chain, I got the Adidas, you know what I mean? And though it was cool, like it was really rooted in I'm better than you, well, or I have more money than you, or whatever, wherever it comes from. Where you should get to is your style, but where you should never get to is I'm the master. I'm comfortable. Right. But by now we pretty much have our styles. That down.
Well,
I mean, but as far, but have I mastered my own style? No, I'm still on a journey to make it better, make it better. But I've relieved myself of the pressure to be to do b-boys, to do this, to do that, whatever. I've come to the resolve that I do letters. Yeah, and I do them well, right? B-boys are cool. Some dudes can do letters and b-boys, like can too, but that's not me. That's fine. Well, I put pressure on myself for a long time. I could go do a b-boy. I gotta do dope backgrounds. This guy did it really. I gotta do that. I gotta do that. It's like, eventually I'm like, no, dude, just do what you love to do. I love to do letters. Then just do letters. Yeah, don't about the other stuff. That's not who you are. Don't worry about it.
I think I still struggle to paint how you paint. Like to do everything so crispy and like,
That's not a bad goal.
it's not a bad goal, and like it's set a bar for me. But I'm also trying to, like, I talked about this where I'm trying to figure out how, like, because I can see how when I do like a character, I got all these different little fades and stuff and gradients and stuff that, like, that stuff that I'm really good at is like being able to use the sloppiness to my advantage.
Yeah.
So I'm like trying to still figure out in my brain how to do letters in a way where I'm like utilizes that, because I still struggle with, when my piece has to somewhat look like, it has to be shaped, colored in like a New York burner. So it's got to have a gradient from the top down, and like I'm still stuck in some kind of some boxes. But that's not always bad, because one thing I talked a lot about was like foundation, and how sometimes you get so far away from your foundation that you have to go back.
Yeah.
And then once you go back, you're like, okay, there was one little thing I was missing here, and then you can go back here and continue with momentum.
Like a build up.
Right.
It's like
But either way, going back to style and stuff, it's just another, like, when I try to paint like you, like, not only are you super clean, but you are efficient. You do it quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like I've watched you paint 1,000 times, and it's almost like it's instinctive,
Yeah. That doesn't come from videos, because I wasn't watching videos back then. I was looking at pictures online, and that was hard, because I'm like, picture after picture after picture, you still never get the how.
Right.
And it wasn't until later when those documentaries came out on YouTube, and then it was like, but it was still, you're watching snippets. You see him pull a line, and then you're like,
right.
well, how did he get there, or how did he clean that, or fix it up, or you know what I mean? But it was just honestly, bro, it was practice, trial and error, frustration. You know what I mean? Because I would spend hours in the garage, and then I'd freaking throw in the
Bad cap.
Like, damn it,
You got like one little spot you gotta do, and you get that shitty cap where you're like, oh man, I've been there. And like, that's the stuff people don't see, is like, they see the mural and they're like, oh man, you killed it. It's like, you don't see me in there cussing, whipping a can across the room, like, oh man,
just like, F this part, I'm moving over here, I'll come back later, because
yeah.
I mean, no, I appreciate that, but like it's all in like you said, bro, just getting better, and not kidding yourself thinking you're the best. And then anybody I've ever met that thought they were the best were trash.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean? That's like whatever. But but yeah, just continuing to paint and draw. It was so easy when I was a kid. Now there's so many distractions, bro.
It's hard to find inspiration sometimes too.
I go on Pinterest and Instagram and get inspiration. And I end up doing scrolling for damn hours, and then I go to sleep, and then I never painted.
Yeah, I mean, so sometimes that can be bad too, because you get flooded with so much that you're like, I don't even know how my letters should look,
Yeah, and then there in my basement sits my huge easel table with all these unfinished canvases on it. Maybe I should go paint instead of scroll. You do one painting, do the same little painting 6 times. By the sixth time, you'll be super creative. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, I should add this. Oh, I should add that. But it's just like it was just drawn there, and it was just like caps, bro. Caps is where it was at. You know what I mean? Like I finally got to the point where I'm like, why am I doing fill work with a German 3 outline? Like we're gonna be here for a long time. So duh. Let me get the New York fat, fill it in, right, and boom, it's done. Yeah, right. Because you know as well as I do, what's the most hated thing in doing a piece? Freaking just fill that same color. Yeah. Right. The fun stuff is the blending, the cutback.
Oh, well, like, it's outline or highlights.
Yeah,
You was like,
right when you're flicking the can and you got it on 45 and you're getting dust corner and everything, like that's fun. So I said, F that. Give me a fatty. Give me a 69er and
yeah.
I was working for this company recently, traveling doing graffiti, and that was one of the things I prided myself on. I'm like, I'm not trying to be whatever, guys, but like I'm fast. Like you're not gonna find anybody that's fast. And I was like, I'm telling you, I'm not being prideful, bro. No, I'm just saying, and not just fast, but I'm clean and I'm dope. And I'm telling you, and it's just experience. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying it's just experience. That's what you're getting. So you can pay me a little bit more. That'd be, kind of nice. Because if you pay somebody else, you're gonna get graffiti, but it ain't gonna be right. And I would go in there, bro. I would rock a b-boy and a piece, full burner piece, a b-boy, and some like creative letter stuff like that, in probably 4 hours tops. 4 hours tops, bro. But
I'm having a nightmare flashback right now.
just it was the caps. It was the caps, and it was the sketch layout too. As long as I wasn't standing there going,
Yeah, I mean, you're right there. Not messing around with the sketch to me is like
just a quick little and then I'd get that and put it on there, boom, go. And then you got your sketch when you just go.
Yeah.
And you just fill it in and stuff. I mean, bro, with a Astro Cat or a Fat Cap, you can cover ground quick.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole thing, right? You're not gonna sit on a train for 8 hours.
Well, and even again, figuring out how to maximize the job so that you're not beating yourself up over it. I mean, because like all my characters are only gonna be photorealistic characters.
There you go.
And it's just like,
Yeah, you gotta be realistic. You know what I mean? Because you're like, okay, how can I make this job work for me, right? Because if I'm there for 10 hours and then getting paid for this month, like it's not, you know what I mean? So, but that was the benefit. That was one of the benefits of that job was 18, 19, 20 some years of experience. You know what I mean? All rolled up into a room and a wall. But taking all that experience and putting it into work. So I wasn't afraid to outline. I knew how to fix mistakes. You know what I mean? Like, but it was going back to what you were saying about, you want to be clean, you want to be efficient, whatever. It's the caps. It's the same thing as tattooing. Like you don't, you're not gonna do a bold outline with a 5 round.
yeah.
I mean, you can, but you're gonna be there for a long time, right?
You just be smart about your tools.
You break out the 11 or the 12, whatever, get it done.
Yeah.
Move on. And then you get you're not gonna color in with the 5 mag. You're gonna color in with the 9,
or 13 or
so it's the same thing. And then it's like anything else. You can get like, there's patterns and effects that you can get with the fat cap that you can't with the thin. And so I'll let my secret out. I learned to always have something sharp on me, and I'll take the German 3 or something a little bit bigger, and I would take my knife and I put it in the hole and just manipulate a little bit, turn it a little bit, stab it in it, turn it, and then I get this like you roll the dice. What are you gonna get? You get this, right? And I loved it, dude. It was dope because it was like you would get that solid line, but then you get this like extra spray on the side.
Yeah.
And it was like you're sketching with a pencil. It was like you know what I mean? And then you could pick and choose what you would eliminate and what you would keep. Sick. That's cool. Yeah. So that also, you use that a couple times and it starts to get clogged. And then when it gets to that point, then now you got that tiny, that's where everybody's like, how do you get those? And then you watch these videos and they got the can upside down and they're doing this and they're doing that or whatever. Bro, you know what I learned? I think I've learned along the way watching the videos and stuff. There's a lot of graffiti artists that use the same letters. They use the same caps. They use the same thickness of line. That's who they are.
Yeah.
And they're okay with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's fine. I'm like you. I get stuck in, like, I see a saber piece. I'm like, I gotta write saber letters. Damn it. You know what I mean? Or I see a Revoke or whoever else. I'm like, I could do it. I could do this. I gotta do it. And it's like, bro, stop. Just be yourself. Find red one and stop. Just be yourself. And Can 2's little b-boy. I'm like, I gotta come up with a b-boy. No, you don't have to come up with a b-boy. If you need to do one for a project, yeah, that's when you break out, your references and you do one. But that's not who I am.
Mascots and Modes book right there. Yeah, that's all big boys. But
so that makes sense. Like, that's where it's at. So now it's like I get to kind of pick and choose my projects now. If it's like, if I want to do it, I'll do it. If it's if people have money, yeah, I'll do it. But I don't feel like I have to, like, it's time for some other dudes, like, Rome and these other dudes to take over, you know what I mean? And get them some experience and some jobs and stuff. But if it comes along and somebody wants something and it's worth, and I think it's the time and everything, like, I'll do it. Let's do it. I'll forever do canvases. Forget about it. Like, I'm always doing canvases for people and friends and things like that. But me being a lot older, the thing that's really, like, I've struggled with and has come to, like, bite me in the ass is just technology, man. Just like the Instagrams and the videos and stuff. Like, I have yet to utilize that, so in order to get my name out there or to get sell work or for people to see my work. But I'm okay with it. I don't need to, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, that's just like a thing. Like, I see that with the generations. But artists, tattoo artists, graffiti artists, and artists in general that paint what they paint, you get what you get. You're not asking me to paint something. I pay. You come by, you buy something if you want it.
But that's dangerous. I mean, if your niche is free people on Etsy who buy your stuff, I mean, you have to decide. I'm just more comfortable. Like, I'll work a normal gig. I changed my Instagram handle. I'm like, I just don't have to deal with people bugging me about what they want, and I get to decide. Well, first of all, I mean, just with art, I don't like forcing it. There's times where I wake up and I'm like, I don't feel like drawing today, or I sit down and draw, and I don't know what to draw.
You know what I've noticed too, bro? Like, and it just, my experience in life is, in hindsight, like, I realize it now. There should be like we should have, like, seasons where you go into, like, your cave, right? And then you come out and you do like 20 canvases and freaking nail them, and go back into your cave and then come out for do.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I think, because I think as artists, our right brain is just constantly freaking moving, and it has to release. But then there's that time where it's no different than, like, when you're painting a wall and you're like, oh, hey, let's go smoke a cigarette, or let's go get some food and we'll come back.
Let's take a step back from your level.
But I think that really, like, in hindsight, like, instead of trying to go 100 miles an hour, like, for a couple of years, that's what I should be doing. That's what I'm probably going to do now, is just do, like, seasons and do, like, sets off camps, just get it out and then retract. Good buddy of mine said, anything that's worth doing is worth taking a break from. Anything that you're doing that's really good and that's really impacting and making a difference is worth taking a break from. So, like, learning that later on in life, it's like, yeah, it's probably good to, like, do that. Like, I don't know what you call that, but just do, like, a series of canvases, have fun with it.
Don't try to milk it once it's dry.
Right. And then go back, look at them, see what you would do different, maybe do whatever, kind of criticize it, let it go. And then take that into the next season when you come back, right? Take a break, come back, do some more canvases. You know, I think that's perfect. And I think
There was one artist I was reading about who I can't remember his name, but he was an artist who always believed in having a job. He just always believed that he would make his art. And he was a furniture builder, which probably was a job he enjoyed because he also would incorporate like furniture into his like sculpture and stuff like that. But he always believed in working a normal job, like being a normal person, and then like using his spare time to create his art. So I don't know what his philosophy was on that, but I just find so much control over my art because making a living as an artist a lot is making that choice of either, you know, I'm gonna make what I want and you're gonna either like it or not, or I'm a hustler. I'm gonna make what people want so I can get some money and
yeah, I'm good at paying what I want, bro. Like I'm kind of dumb. Like I'll do a commission piece if I'm asked to, but I'm gonna pay what I want to paint. I have a gallery space in Lancaster City, and it's a shared office space, and all my artwork's hanging out there. But technically, it's a gallery. But like I walked in there, bro, and I love all the paintings that are in there. So they're not selling, but I look at them and I'm like, that's freaking dope. That's so cool. I did such a good job on that one. I should do another one like that. And that's where it's at. Though, don't worry about trying to please people. I can go through there. I could go through there, and the majority of those canvases I would hang up in my own house. You know what I mean? Like, do you have any rare pieces or anything else? Yeah, I have a graffiti mural downstairs in the shop. Yeah, but yeah, I have a couple of those. It's like I had to go in the dark piece too. Is that
I love till you brought that up. I told that, and as soon as you brought it up, I was like, I could picture it in my mind.
because remember we were big into like, bro, we can do pieces and cut them out.
Oh, Brendan, we have anything about some other stuff?
Dude,
I was doing like the weird glass
I
pieces.
actually want to go back to that. Visit that glass. I've been meaning.
There's got to be a way to redo that without it.
Well, now
They were so heavy.
Not that I have some carpentry skills. I could really pull off the glass thing. Back then, I didn't have the carpentry skills, but to build the frame and make it easy,
Right.
you know what I mean. But yeah, even the cutout pieces, I'd love to.
Wait, so the one of knobs behind it and stuff.
Just revisit that with the light technology with the LEDs and stuff. That we were using rope lights back then. Yeah, they weren't even bright enough. But yeah, dude, like that's where it's like.
Does it still glow? Yeah, he still glows.
Hardcore.
I bit those letters. I know who I was, but not exactly, but the style.
But at night, because it's in the basement right outside the shop on our. So at night, you know, and then when we turn the lights off, it's right there. Yeah, I've had it there for a while. Yeah, I want to revisit those too.
A couple main things I want to ask everybody that I sit down with. Do you have like a favorite form? Like, do you love? I know you love piecing. But like tagging, throwies. Is there a thing that you just like when you open up a sketch pad? Are you gonna sketch a piece, or are you gonna do? I have a habit of like just doing like 15 tags on a piece. But yeah, I gotta like.
I would say piecing. I would just say just a full.
And you don't sketch much, like I mean, as you don't take a sketch to the wall generally, do you? You just kind of.
No, I kind of.
Do you? How much do you know when you get to the wall? Like I know I'm. Do you get your colors out? Then you go. Okay, I got enough of that to do this.
Yes, yeah. I'll base it on whatever the most color I have for fill, and then once I got that down, I'll just go from there. Like background, outline, and then like what do they call it? The force speed, yeah, force view, and all that stuff. So, like when we did that, those Mexican wrestlers, like we were all like collaborating. I wasn't expecting that. That was dope though.
He's like, yo, I'm still riding high on that.
Yeah.
He was like, man, piecing him with all three.
And I'm glad because I was just gonna do my thing. Not selfishly. I'm just saying like I kind of had an idea, and you were like, yo, what you gonna do for outline? I was like, oh, just black, right? And you're like, I was thinking like brown or something. And I was like, yeah, I should probably think outside the freaking box, man. I boxed myself in.
Well, I was doing the same thing where I'm like, this is what I have to work with.
Yeah. So I'm glad that's the cool thing about, those projects is like you don't have one right brain. Now you got three.
That's super fun. Like collaborating where you'd be like, there's no egos and everyone's just like, oh, what if you do this? Like, oh yeah, that would be dope. I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Color combos and
Yeah. So I look at how that how Limpies came out, you know what I mean? Because it's it's collaborating, and that's really dope. Um but yeah, and even going back to what you said about where I feel like graffiti's going in PA, or what the scene is or what's going on, bro. Like, you watch these dudes in like London, and like they're doing crazy stuff, dude. Like, they're doing like full trains, right? And now they all got that one dude that's just with the camera, right? That was not even a thing, bro. Yeah, that was never a thing. Now it's a thing. Now it's like, it's almost like every time you go out, it can literally become a movie, like become documented. And that's cool though. That's cool. Like, I love watching those dudes. I forget what his name is. But he does those like razor edge letters, and he always does like the billboards, right? And it's super sick, and it's like a lot of sloppiness, but at the end, is it West Coast guy? Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. There's only like two of them that write the same, and I love watching it, but I don't need to do those letters. At one point, I would have been like, I could do those letters. I need to do those, but I just appreciate his style. I appreciate his like creativity of getting up there on the billboard in the middle of the night, doing it, making himself vulnerable. And then his buddy's got the drone, and he's like filming it. That's cool, dude.
yeah.
I ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, no,
But that inspires me. It inspires me to do. It inspires me to do a good job, to want to be a good steward of what's in front of me.
yeah.
Right. I'm not gonna go climb a billboard in the middle of the night. I'm not gonna do illegals. And I don't have a friend with a drone, so. But when I see that, I'm like,
Get your lights a little
the next time I paint, I'm gonna make it sick. Honestly, I hope he listens to this, or he'll probably be on it. But Aaron inspires me, bro. Like, he really does. Aaron, like, is that hyper kid that used to make me laugh, and he was just so like determined to be an artist, and then he started tattooing. And I look at his letters now, and I'm like, buddy, good freaking job.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like a proud dad. Dang, you know what I mean? Like, this is us doing so well. Color combos are well. Like, you can see guys that they're crispy, but like, have you looked at a color wheel lately?
Right.
Or like amazing colors, but they can't paint worth, right? It's rare that you find a dude that's super balanced, bro.
Yeah.
With letter style, color theory, color theory, and then there's not too much of this, right? And then there's that little highlight. You know what I mean? It's just well balanced, and it's gonna be people like him that and Ron that rise up and do, and hopefully they surpass us. They should.
Yeah. Not for a long time.
Not for a long time. Not till you come to the nursing home and be like, yo, Ramon, guess what? Where's the camera? I still got it. I remember clear as day when you came to, I was like one of the first times, and you were like, I will show you my sketchbook, and I saw your drawings, and I knew right then and there you were gonna be a good graffiti artist. You were gonna be a good artist when I saw your drawings, and I'm like, all this kid has to do is learn the can control, and it's over. And you painted and you painted and you painted and you got frustrated and you painted and we painted. And fast forward, I remember the social club, Franklin Social, and I was watched that progression.
Yeah.
I knew it. I knew he was gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
And it was crispy, dude. It was really, really good. It was another proud dad moment where I was just like, man, this dude, I knew he had it in him. You know what I mean?
You birthed a few of us, man. Yeah. Like we all had this love for graffiti before even
realize there's a community.
Yeah.
Like even just now. I mean, we've been painting. I've been painting since like the mid 2000s, and I'm just now meeting these guys from Lancaster and Baltimore, and I'm like, there's a community, you know, and it feels like it grew, bro. It's feels good right now.
Yeah, it grew, and it's doing. And again, the benefit is 30, 40 years ago. Now, it wouldn't have been accepted.
Right. But now, if you can, everybody loves graffiti. I remember when I met those dudes in Lancaster when we did an art thing. We did an art thing First Friday down in Lancaster City and Twig
And all the dudes were down there, and I was slated to paint, and I don't know, something got messed up, but they put me inside this garage on a piece of plywood, and they were all out there painting, and I was like, I just did like a plywood RED, and I remember somebody coming back and like peeking in, and that's right, and then he would peek in again, and then he peeking again, and he walked over, yo, you nice, oh, da 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 da. I'm like, yo, I'm from York, bro. Like, shit, I've been painting, bro, and so we made contact and everything, and I knew that was gonna happen. I knew they probably thought I was some scrub, but then as soon as they saw my letters, they were like, oh shit, and I'm like, yeah, I saw your stuff too. It's crispy, you know, that's cool. And then we hit it off, and then they did like a little thing at my gallery too, but those dudes were the real deal. They were tagged. They kills tagging them, but yeah, and so I'm like, well, dude, like I don't do that, but like you're welcome to show your shit here, and you know whatever. So I still have respect for those guys. That's a whole nother thing, you know.
that's what's interesting. That to me is like, there's guys like you or Rome who are like trying to make a business out of it and like want to do it, you know, on the clean side,
Yeah,
you know, and it's still graffiti. It's still putting your name on the wall. So there's still this whole other side, which is, you know, and all of the guys in this area got different thoughts and feelings about that, which is, you know, I'm like, I lean a little bit more this way. Now that I'm getting older, I'm like, I lean a little bit more this way, not quite as far as some of.
I'm sure that some of those dudes are like, if you ain't doing illegals, you're not a graffiti artist. Don't call yourself graffiti artist. And you know what? I agree. I try not to call myself graffiti artist. I call myself a graffiti style artist, or I do graffiti style art. I always try to put that word in style art because I have respect for that art form. And you know what? They've earned that name. Yeah, they go out at night. They do all that stuff. Now I'll never want to take that away from them. Plus, I know they're not drawing big penises and saying "F your mother." Yeah. I know that they go out and they're done. It's gonna be sick. Right. And it's gonna be appreciated. And there's just like that. It's like that nicotine. You gotta do it. You gotta get it. You gotta do it. You know what I mean? And that's all right. And that's cool. Like, do I wish they wouldn't have to do that or do that? Yeah, but I respect it. So, you know, if somebody says no, Red One's not graffiti artist, hey, you're right.
Well, I mean, I don't know these. I'm not a stickler about words like that, and I think, I mean, there's guys that are well-known, established writers who are like godfathers of this culture that they're not going out bombing every night, and I'm sure that they don't have any problem being called a writer or anything like. I mean, I don't have to. Yeah, I mean,
I don't have to anymore.
yeah, I mean, I guess I got a little bit of that once imposter syndrome, where it's like I don't ever feel like I'm as good as people may think that I am or whatever.
You know what? Let me tell you a story real quick. I got to a good point where I was painting and everything, and I was like struggling with identity. I was struggling with you know, am I even any good? And my wife and I took a trip to California, and we were in Hollywood. We were like in LA, and I'm standing in front of a mural that I've studied, and it was like, guys we know, bro. It was a famous wall, and I'm standing in front of this wall, and I'm looking at it, right in front of it, and I'm like, I'm just as good, bro.
Yeah.
This line is not even straight. This cutback is not even like crispy. You know what I mean? But from across the street, it looks dope. And and it was in that moment that I was like,
I'm right where I need to be.
Yeah.
But it took me to have to go all the way there, stand in front of that mirror to be like, I'm okay. I'm on track. Like, if this is these dudes and they're the shit, whatever, I'm good. I'm on it. And we came back home, and I was like, thank you, God. I had a guy tell me once, he was an art teacher actually at Enfield High School, and really good artist. He was an art teacher, but he was a really good artist himself. And he told me one time, gave me like deep revelation, deep understanding. He's like, he's like, stop trying to be so, stop trying to paint perfect. He's like, that's not you, bro. He's like, paint like choppy and put the paint on there and do it. Like that's you. And I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to be too. I'm trying to be Can too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be. And when he said that, it gave me a revelation. And ever since then, I think about that when I was painting or drawing or doing like a, working for this company and stuff or whatever. It's always stuck in the back of my mind. When I start to drift away from that, I'm like, get back here. Yeah, don't be like that. Just go up there and make it like, I forget what word he used, but what he told me made sense.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, okay. And I really respected him as a artist and a person and an art teacher. So I took that to heart. And it's finding your way. It's always you've always been on the right track. Because even you used to piss me off sometimes too, because I was like, calm down, but you're always pushing better, always do more, better. That's good. Just stay right there. You'll be fine, because you're always gonna satisfy that itch. You know what I mean? Like, and just remember there's seasons. You know what I mean, of life. But when it's go time, just paint, just draw, just create, just make beats, do whatever, and then just kick back, and then just keep going. But I think because of who you are and your mindset, your work ethic, and your creativity, your own makeup, you are doing amazing artwork, and just keep doing it. You know what I mean? And I think as long as you do it, it'll find its way, in the world. Somebody will see it or something, or you'll discover something in the midst of that. But even if you don't, who cares? It's just who you are. Kind of, I mean, they're gonna, someday some kid is gonna come across something of yours, and the cycle is gonna start all over again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it ain't that what it's about.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, for sure.
when even like painting trains and stuff with ugly has kind of taught me to kind of be loose a little bit, kind of like let go.
Yeah, and let them teach you. And you're teachable. See, that's humility. Humility is huge, because he's been there. He's been doing it. Right? What child? What you're tell him how to? You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, do it. You know what I mean? Let him teach you, and then you can add that to your everything. Render everything. I walk in your house. You can't even paint your house normal. You know what I mean? Like, you're so creative. Like, yeah, to walk in his back, and then it's yeah. So I mean, so you're never gonna do anything. So my wife tells me she can't do anything normal. I'm like, hey, you're married to me for so 6 years. You don't know that? I'm like, I can't do normal. You know what I mean? So, the letter A tattooed on my wedding favor, and I showed it to her. I was all excited. I'm like, look at what I did for you. She's like, oh, couldn't just do a regular A. You had to make it all funky. I'm like, hey, what the hell?
Yes. Correct. Back to me for album. Like, it's gotta be West Coast. It ain't gonna be in no font. You know what I mean? Typewriter font.
No, I do like typewriter font, but yeah, bro, like that's it. That's and this is a good thing too. Document all this stuff, because that's one thing that we got to be better at from generation to generation is how did that happen? Where'd that come from? Yeah. Whether it's audio or video or whatever, we got to be better at that. So kudos for doing this. I couldn't even tell you the last time I told my story.
Well, Ugly and I, just like walking train tracks, he's got stories and stories too, and he's got, he's from outside of Baltimore, so that's the other thing too I'm learning more about too, is like regional stuff, and I don't also necessarily say York, but Central PA's graffiti connection to other places. Like,
I felt like so disconnected because I've always painted kind of by myself until I got involved with Writer's Block, and even then it was just a small crew of us. I didn't venture out and meet other guys who write, and so
They get to be super intentional
right.
about that.
But just talking with Ugly, about his connection between Central PA and Baltimore, and then that's one thing that Twig also mentioned was Baltimore being a huge influence on his writing and stuff like that. And then hearing you even talk about New York's influence on Lancaster, which is like news to me. And so, but I think there's enough characters here and enough of a story here that some of it should be kind of documented. Yeah, for sure. And I think too, York also kind of has like little man syndrome. Like we're like right in between, Baltimore, the Philly, New York, and Pittsburgh, and Chicago a little bit further out. But we're here too. And
That's what I'm saying. I believe there's gonna be these kids that rise up, and that's gonna be like, they're from where?
Yeah,
They're who? From Pennsylvania. I thought they was just horse buggies.
but they're for the two states. Yeah, no, bro. There's these little funky man. We got Seattle.
Yeah. So kudos, man, big time. And that dude's cool, man.
But Aaron.
He doesn't wear his hat back first with baggy jeans and a Wu-Tang freaking.
I have all those things.
Yeah, exactly. I probably didn't look like one either when we first met, but a lot of those dudes don't. You ever see some of those famous dudes? Some of them are dorky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh.
I just was watching videos at work, old Videograph.
Yeah.
And some of those dudes were on there just like, they got bandanas on. I'm like, you saw this guy at the corner store or something.
Yeah. I think in our minds we have like Cope and all those dudes from New York. Like that's probably what we think of. Like they wear
Scuff.
Yeah, yikers, and you know what I mean? Like, and they wear New York hats and whatever. But then Dime, I don't know, he's from Germany. He looks like a teacher.
Yeah, they're like IT guy or something.
Yeah.
And then he probably could fix your computer. I don't know why I feel like he probably could. Probably.
And then I'll paint you in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. That's it.
Is there anywhere where you feel like graffiti doesn't belong?
Like illegal graffiti or
just a canvas or a thing? I know if I go out on a hike in the woods or something and I see
rocks
or trees.
If I say a pound.
Yeah. I'm like, to me, it just feels like it doesn't belong out there. That's just my opinion. I don't feel like I need it right on every flat surface, but
I think it's self-explanatory. Like if it looks out of place to somebody who's not a graffiti artist, or even to all the artists and graffiti artists, then this probably shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
And I would say if that's the case, then that probably is not a true graffiti artist, because they should know better.
Yeah.
So for whatever reason they did it, probably shouldn't have done it. You know what I mean? So, and whatever. Churches are still off, still limits, churches, personal property, houses, people's cars and stuff. But, so I don't think that's really changed.
I think for the most part,
Because even I see stuff and I'm like, bro, come on, seriously.
I see it there's a business I go to, Refindings. You ever been to Refindings?
Yeah.
It's like stuff on there, and I'm like, why would you put it there, man? It's
like a business that's. I think part of it too is like for example, I took a trip to Budapest, Hungary, and I was talking to one of the teenagers that from there, and they said their culture, because mind you, downtown was freaking covered with graffiti, made New York City look like trash. It was covered.
Burners or the good stuff?
Throwies, block letters, silver letters, a couple burners, all kinds of stuff, tag. But he told me, he said, the bragging rights of those graffiti artists is getting up, yes, but it's putting it in the hardest spot and the busiest spot. Not like a heaven spot, but like the busiest spot, like so like the square. You know what I mean? Like the ballsiest spot, like, and that's why it's freaking everywhere because this guy and then oh okay and then this guy oh okay and then this and they just go, they don't hit the alleys and the where nobody's looking. They put his eyes where they're like, holy shit, you did that there. That's their culture. Yeah, like again, and then I want to go, but here it's like I'm gonna go to one here. Nobody cares you did it there.
Yeah.
They can't even see it.
Well, that's not a learning about drain stuff. It's kind of the culture too. It's just like you don't tag or piece up to the spot. You know what I mean? Like you leave the entry points, you leave all of that stuff alone so that no one, so that you can, so that the culture can still exist. You know, you're tagging the whole trail up to wherever the spot is. You know, and then there's this monkey see, monkey do thing, and it's usually with like knuckleheads where like one person puts their name, another person has to go put their name beside it. You know, it's just like, well, find your own spot. You know, yeah, and it's like anyway. Well, man, I appreciate you sitting down. Do you have like anything you want to promote, that website or?
I don't. I mean, I would just say probably just my Instagram. Okay. I just got like sketches, drawings, couple pictures.
What's your handle on there?
It's at Ramon Trevino art. Okay. And it's RAMON, no E on the end. And then Trevino like the golfer.
I'll make sure I send that.
Yeah. That's it. I don't have anything else. Kind of gave up on.
Yes.
You're happy making art. Yeah, I'm not worried about it. So yeah, cool, man. Yeah, I appreciate it, man.